Hello dear students, in this lesson we will learn division with single digit divisor and two digits divisor using box method. Let's get started. The box method of long division breaks up the dividend into smaller pieces by subtracting multiples of divisor. To use this method, we will first set up the box. After setting up the box, place your divisor outside the box and your dividend on the inside. Next, break up your dividend by subtracting multiples of the divisor until you reach 0 or you have a remainder less than the divisor. This sounds really complicated in words. Let's go through the examples. Solve 423 divided by 3 using the box method. Step 1. Set up your box. Draw your box and place the divisor 3 on the outside of the box and your dividend 423 on the inside, nearly touching the top. Step 2. We need to find a large enough multiple of the divisor to subtract from the dividend. Since our dividend is 3-digit number, let us start with 100. Place 100 on the top and subtract 3 times 100 from the dividend. Remember, if we use 200 as a multiple, then a product of 3 times 200 would be greater than our dividend, so it would not work out. The key to the method is finding something we can multiply our divisor by that it's still less than the dividend. Next, add the additional box to the right hand side of the original box and shift 123 to your new box. Step 3. We need to find a multiple of our divisor to subtract from what is left as dividend. 100 is too large multiple, so we are gonna have to look for a 2-digit multiple. 40 is our next greatest multiple that fits evenly into what is left as dividend. 3 times 40 equals 120. You could choose a smaller multiple of divisor, but then you will need to take additional steps before you reach the final dividend. So 40 is really the best number to choose for this. 3 times 40 equals 120. Place your 40 above the second box and 120 below 123. 123 minus 120 is 3. Add an additional box to the right hand side and move what is left as our dividend, 3 to the next box. Step 4. Now we have only 3 left for our dividend. The only whole number which is the multiple of the divisor that fits is 1. Place 1 above the box and subtract 3 times 1 from the dividend. 3 times 1 equals 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we are all done. Now, in this example, we have no remainder because we have 0 at the end. But if we didn't get a 0, we would have remainder and the problem be a little bit more complicated. Step 5. To find our final quotient, we simply add up those numbers which are above the boxes. We have 100, 40 and 1. We add all these 3 numbers, 100 plus 40 plus 1, which gives us 141. Therefore, 141 is our quotient. When 423 is divided by 3, it gives 141. Let us take one more example and divide 624 by 3. To divide 624 by 3. First of all, we set up the box. After setting up the box, place your divisor 3 outside the box and your dividend 624 on the inside, nearly touching the top. For the next step, we need to find a large enough multiple of the divisor to subtract from the dividend. As you can see that our dividend is a 3-digit number, let us start with 100. Place 100 on the top and subtract the product of 103 from the dividend 624. That will leave 324. Add the additional box to the right hand side of the original box and put 324 on the inside of additional box. The new dividend is now 324. We can go another 100 times. And we know that 3 times 100 is 300. 324 minus 300 gives us 24. Add one more additional box to the right hand side where we will put 24 as dividend. We know that 8 times 3 goes into 24. Therefore, put 8 at the top and 3 times 8, which is 24, below 24. 24 minus 24 gives 0. That means I am left with 0 remainder. Just add up the numbers at the top of all the boxes. These are 100 plus 100 plus 8, which gives 208. That tells us that 624 when divided by 3 gives us 208 as quotient. This is how box method is used for single digit divisor. Let us learn how box method is used for 2-digit divisor. Let us take up an example and divide 776 by 22. Just like before, first of all, we set up the box. On the inside of the box, we will put dividend, that is 776, and outside the box, we will write for 2-digit divisor. Let us take 10 as multiple. 22 multiplied by 10 is 220. Write 10 at the top and the product of 10 and 22, which is 220, just below the dividend 776. 776 minus 220 gives us 556. Add an additional box towards the right of the original box and write 556 in the next box as dividend. Let's take 10 again. 10 multiplied by 22 gives 220. Put 10 at the top and 220 below 556. 556 minus 220 gives 336. Add additional box towards right hand side and write 336 as the new dividend in the new box. Let's go with 10 again. 10 multiplied by 22 gives 220. Write 220 below 336 and subtract. We will get 116. Add one more box on the right hand side and write 116 on the inside as new dividend. That tells us right there that we cannot take another 220 because 220 is greater than 116. We will take 5, that is half of 10, and when we multiply 5 by 22, we will get 110, which is half of 220. Subtract 110 from 116 and we are left with 6. 6 is less than the divisor 22. We stop adding the additional boxes here and our division ends here. Add all the numbers at the top. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 gives 35. And we have a remaining 6. So, when 776 is divided by 22, it gives 35 quotient and 6 remainder. I hope you have enjoyed and understood the box method of division. Let's practice few more questions of division using box method. Your first question is, divide 345 by 15. Your second question is, divide 794 by 5. The answers to these questions will be given to you once you complete the division of these questions.